Hey everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
Welcome to the wrap-up show. John and Gary here. 888-STERN-100. 888-783-7610. Give us a call. We had M. Night come in today. Sandra and the Sex Slaves. That gay extra report about Howard and Beth. But all anybody's talking about is Dice and Artie. And that hour-long conversation as to... which started with "You owe me $5,000" and just went down a whole different path. We already have a bunch of calls on it, but first, Gary, we were talking before, and you had a conversation with Dice yesterday.
What happened was Dice heard that there was talk on the show, and he wasn't sure if it was shtick or not. You know, he thought that maybe Artie was shticking it up. So he called me, and I said, Dice and I spoke for probably about 45 minutes on my drive home yesterday. So Dice, I was explaining that it wasn't shtick, that Artie wanted his check. And Dice goes, that's, insignificant. That's bullshit because I'll get him the money. I tried to call him. It's a misunderstanding. And Dice was just like, that's no big deal. But he was trying to figure out whether we were joking around or not. And I said he wasn't. Then Dice started talking to me about a lot of other things, like Atlantic City, how that went, future plans that he had for he and Artie. And I know from having spoken to Artie on the wrap-up show yesterday that I don't think Artie was either in on these plans or interested in these plans. So I knew Dice was going to be calling in today, but I was trying to sort of guide Dice in a way to try to let him know what Artie felt without coming right out and saying it. So, for instance, at one point, he's like, yeah, Artie and I, this is going to be the beginning of something big. And I said, well, I don't, I know I was talking to Artie today. I don't think he likes the idea of being an opening act. And Dice is like, no, he wouldn't open. We'd be co-headliners. But I think that what happens with Dice is he gets so excited. He had a plan that he mapped out for me that takes 6 months and culminates in, without giving anything away, with a possible TV gig on a major place with a comedy show. And as I'm listening to him, I was like, I don't know if he's talked to Artie about this at all. But I know when you talk to Artie about stuff like this, he just sort of yeses you to death. If he doesn't want to do it, he just goes, yeah, sounds good, because he doesn't want to say, hey, I don't want to do that.
And you think he was doing the polite thing, like when Dice was laying out all these plans, Artie was probably listening, but...
He was probably just nodding, but not
on board.
Not on board, and I think that Dice probably took Artie's nodding and silence as, hey, I'm moving full steam ahead. Like, I happen to know that Artie had some gig going on that was going to be, that's big. He even said today, he hinted at the fact that he's got a gig coming up that's so big that he's not allowed to perform in a certain area for a while.
Right.
So, Dice is telling me all his plans, but I know Artie's got plans, and Dice just wasn't taking them account. So I was trying hard to put Dice online, but I could feel a collision course coming.
What do you think flicked the switch with Artie? Like, what turned in from not a bit, but a serious conversation to okay, now I'm getting pissed off conversation?
Well, I talked to Artie about it during the break. He thought that Dice was not being honest. He thought that Dice was making up lies about, I had your agent's number, I lost your agent's number, I called you, which when I spoke to Dice yesterday, I said, yeah, Artie definitely didn't get the call. He goes, I absolutely called him, and Artie felt that was an out-and-out lie to help, sort of perpetuate whatever myth Dice has going on.
Now, if you missed the beginning of this, here's a quick clip. Number one, this is how it all started. And you can hear it starts off innocently enough, but then spills over a little bit.
Well, nothing happened. I just said, Howard asked how the gig went. I said it was great. The crowd was great. I said Dice did a great job. But I haven't gotten paid for it yet. That's all. And I said, I'm just wondering when I'm getting paid.
Well, you were a little more, you were a little
and I
stronger
said,
than that.
I am mad about it.
So he was clearly upset, but it was sort of still not happy-go-lucky. It's the wrong word, but it wasn't uncomfortable yet.
Right, and you got to understand something, that there's not one thing that was going on. There's like 7 things that are going on. You know what I mean? It's not just about the money. The money is what Artie could grab onto to say that he's mad about. But it's not. It's about Artie feeling that Dice wants he and Artie to do shows together, and Artie probably could do shows on his own. All those things that were not verbalized in any way. And it's Artie's thinking of this. I didn't get the money. I didn't get the money that I was fucking underpaid for anyway. I helped sell that show. It's bubbling under.
Well, the other thing I think is the gambler mentality where, I mean, there's kind of like an honor code when if you make a bet, you pay off the bet. Like if I owe you $100, give me $100, and that's it. And I know that he was paying him $5,000, but later when Ralph called in, it came up like, you owe me the money. No, don't tell Will to give me the money that you owe me. You pay me up front. And I think Artie kind of takes that as a slap in the face in some way, whereas that's how he operates. You know, okay, I owe you $5,000, here's $5,000. I owe you 50 cents, here's 50 cents.
And it's funny because I was having this argument with Ross, who came in later, and Ross goes, you know, and again, had he said this on the air, Artie might have blown up, but he's like, listen, Artie's never played arenas. This is the way Dice operates, even though he's not playing arenas anymore. When he was playing when he's playing the Garden and the Philly Spectrum, this is how he operated on a big scale. Artie's used to doing the clubs. But I know, even with, I've done personal appearances for 20 years, I always get paid before I even start plugging it, because you never know when anybody's going to, you know, change their mind about it. You know what I mean? You want to get, in other words, Artie's performed. If he doesn't get paid, what's his leverage?
Right. He doesn't have any at that point. Right. Now, do you think that Dice was treating him sort of as, not a hack comic, but like any comic? You know, this is the way I pay everybody. There was nothing special, if you will, even though Artie did help sell the show and do all those things you just said.
I think it's just the way Dice operates. I really do. I don't think Dice went out of his way to insult Artie. I think Artie was insulted because he's always operated a certain way.
Now, Benji, you were in the studio the whole time. What did you think? When did it start get crazy for you?
Kind of like Gary said, though, like when Artie thought Dice was bullshitting him about the phone call, that's what I think he was really pissed about. Like Dice even said, like, hey, I don't deal with business till I get home, which would have been this Monday. But then he contradicted himself and said, oh, but I tried calling you last week.
So you think, according to what you heard, Dice didn't make that call?
It sounds like a runaround. Have you ever, you know, not gotten a phone call that someone left a message on?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens sometimes. And in Dice's defense for a second, Artie with his cell phone isn't exactly, you know, the most reliable thing.
Well, I really think we should check the records, because we could check the records.
Did you know that I've had issues with, and I'm not saying Artie's not telling the truth, because he generally gets any message that you leave him, but Artie generally would rather have you leave a message at home rather than on a cell phone. And I've called Artie's cell phone at times, and it tells you that there's a problem. And Artie told me that when he turns off his cell phone so that you can't leave a message on purpose.
Yeah, but Dice said he left a message. What's your gut tell you? If you had to make a bet, did Dice leave a message?
It does, because when I spoke to Dice yesterday, it was like no big deal. It didn't sound like it. He's like, yeah, I left.
It's the checks in the mail. It's the same thing.
Look, I talked to Ross before, and Ross says if Dice says he called, he called. Like, he's not going to lie about that. But my gut from hearing the whole thing, Dice didn't leave a message. But that's what I think. Let's go to the phones and find out what other people think. Let's go to Randy in Helena. Is it Helena, Montana, or Helena, Montana? How do you say that?
We say it Helena.
Helena. Randy, you're on the wrap-up show.
Well, I got to mention, Dice and Artie, they can have an awesome thing. If they can cover this up, get done with it, they got an awesome thing. That's number one. And number two, Artie's not an employee of Dice Corporation or whatever it is. Pay the guy.
So you think you should have paid him up front?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Especially if Dice got half up front, pay Artie. Artie's a hit,
Okay, that's fair enough. Thank you for your call. Let's go to Charlie in Dallas. Charlie, you're on a wrap-up show.
Yeah, hey, I think this gets down to one word: respect. Dice did not respect Artie. Artie did the major work getting the people out there. Artie's on his way up. Dice is trying to pull his ass out of the cellar. Okay? And Artie was exactly right on all that. Dice is trying to resurrect a dead career by hooking himself up to somebody who he had never heard do comedy. Artie could have sucked. Dice didn't give a shit. He wanted the extra added attraction of having somebody connected with the show. That's what he's trying to do. Artie's 100% correct. I've been a musician for 20 years. You never pull this shit. You get paid the night of the show.
I think, but where have you played? Have you ever played the Garden?
And at what level?
Right. Like when you play the clubs, yeah, you get paid that night. And I'm not defending either side. I will say this. Maybe it looks like Dice didn't treat Artie with respect, and maybe some people go look at it that way, but I really don't feel that it was intentional.
I don't think it was either. But the caller brought up an interesting point, I thought, because as the conversation went on, it sort of became it's not really about the money. It's not really about working together. It's about you, Dice, wanting plugs on this show. And I'm your conduit, Artie saying, I'm the way you're getting those plugs.
That almost seems like a psychological thing, though. It's so weird. Artie almost doesn't think, he doesn't have, like, faith enough in his own stuff. It's like, you're only using me because I can get you plugs on the show. It's like, it might be, too, that Artie's also a good comedian. See, if Artie sucked, he wouldn't be on the bill.
No, I think that what it's about is that Artie sort of feels like, hey, I can draw my own crowd. In other words,
then he shouldn't have done the gig.
No, he did it because he wanted to work with Dice.
Right.
He did it for I don't know why Eric Clapton plays on the Beatles record. Okay,
right, but Eric Clapton doesn't bitch and moan at the Beatles.
But when people guest on other people's records, they do it because it's fun and it's art. Of course, usually those people are millionaires.
Well, Artie seemed to lose sight of the fact that maybe it was fun. So I agree with the guy about the musicianship, although I've played a lot of gigs where sometimes money didn't happen like they were supposed to.
I think that Artie did the gig with Dice because it would be, God, that's a guy I grew up going away to see.
I said one thing earlier on, and Artie said no, but I'm questioning that. It's like that morning when Dice said to Artie, want to do this gig? I felt like he backed Artie into a corner.
I do too.
That was like strike one. Strike two was the fact that maybe it's like he's going like, I think that morning they discussed what the split was going to be. I think there was something like either a 60-40. It may have been a joke. Right. And $5,000 is certainly not 40%. So that's strike two. And then strike three was he didn't get paid that night, which is the standard.
And here's a question: did anybody ever say what the size of the room was at the Borgata? Was it 1,000 or 1,200? Does anybody know what it was? 800. It was 800 people.
Seats.
Okay, so the question becomes, and does anybody know what the tickets went for that night, roughly?
I think there was some.
Well, Artie said he's going to play it later this month or something like that, and he said he's going to get 11 times the amount. So let's say that's 55,000. So based on that, he got about 10%.
The question is, can Artie sell that room out by himself?
Right.
And if the answer is yes, then it becomes, why do I need to be part of the Artie Dice team? But I do think it's an interesting idea.
Well, the other question is, again, who's telling the truth? Artie, when we were in Pittsburgh, Artie had told me exactly what he said in the air today. It was not sold out when it was announced that Artie was going to do the show. Then it became sold out. Dice intimated that it was sold out, or there were 200 seats left, I think. And then after the show, it was sold out. I think there's a difference there in opinion who was the draw.
Although Dice said that morning it was sold out, so I mean,
Dice
might not even be relevant.
Dice told me yesterday that before he asked Artie to be part of it, there were 200 seats left, and that the second Artie said he would be part of it, whoosh, they went. And Dice said he has sold out that room many times over the last couple of years, but that it was a long haul to do it, that it took weeks. The show would be on sale, inevitably would sell out. He said between coming on this show and Artie, it sold out in a second, but he admits that right up front.
Yeah, I mean, Dice is clearly going to draw, but you add Artie Lange to the bill.
So is it about the money, guys? Seriously.
No, I don't think it's about the money. I really don't. I think it's about respect, and I really think, and I hate to say this when Artie's not here because I'd love to have him say it himself, I think Artie believes he respects Dice, but he doesn't need Dice. He doesn't need to be part of the Dice team. I think that's what it's about.
I agree, but I think
I agree with that too. But it still doesn't make sense to get that angry about it.
No, I think the money factors in much more heavily than you do, Gary. I think it's not the icing on the cake; it's more of the cake than you realize. Benji,
had Dice started the conversation with, "Hey, we had a miscommunication about the money. I'm sending the check right away," and been nice about it, not like, "Hey, why didn't you tell me?" or "You don't need the money." Artie would have been
rewind
really
a little bit.
A gentleman about
Who
it.
are you talking about? You're talking about Dice Clay, who's also a performer.
Right.
He's not going to sit there and try and sound like a logical guy.
Dice is
He's
doing.
the guy going, "Hey."
It's really weird because
you still got to be.
But you're asking where Artie got
character.
pissed. That's why, because he treated him like shit for expecting the money.
I don't think he was treating him like shit. I think he was just goofing.
See, one of the interesting things that's been going on in the show is when Dice was trying to get back on the show, when he'd been off for a long time, and I spoke to him, had an hour-long conversation with him, and I spoke to Andrew. And he told me about what was going on in his life, and the divorce, and the kids, and how his life was similar, and he was very interesting. I found that guy to be very interesting. So the show is some days is a little bit of Andrew, a little bit of Dice. And when he called in, he's being Dice. It's part of the character.
Right.
But I think something you might have said earlier before, Benji, is ringing true in my head. When he said he called him, and Artie was like, "There's no way you called me," and Artie thought Dice was lying about that, that might have lit the fuse. That might have been the thing that spurred him on.
I think it kept the flames going, but I don't think. I mean, he was already the boulder was already going down the hill.
Fred said during that, which I sort of agree with, that there's more to this than just the money.
Right.
There's something brewing, and I think that's what it is. I think it's sort of like Artie's like, hey man, I can sell out places. I can do big things myself. And Artie will be the first to say, not because I'm the world's greatect comedian, although Artie is a great comedian. He'll say it's the power of the show.
And but had Artie been paid immediately, do you think he would have been
I don't think had Artie been paid immediately, I still don't think he's interested in being part of the Artie Dice tour. But I don't know.
Either, but I don't think he would have been hold a grudge against Dice at all either.
Well, you'd have nothing to.
No, he might have still held a little bit of a grudge about what he got.
But he
paid.
wouldn't have said anything.
And remember,
because he wouldn't have had nothing to bitch about.
And remember, Artie is a guy who waited online to see Dice. I mean, he's a huge fan of Dice's and what he represented in comedy 20 years ago. And so to this day, being able to actually open for him is a thrill. I think you said it before, Gary. It's like opening for the Beatles or a band that you always idolized. You're going to do it no matter what. And I believe in what he said later on. It's not just about the money. I want to tell my kids that I opened for Andrew Dice Clay. I don't think that was bullshit. I think that was true.
I believe that's true.
All right, let's go to the phones. Bruce in San Diego. Thanks for holding. You're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, what's up, guys? I had Artie's back the whole time I was hearing it, just because I think some of Dice's shit would have rang true if, like, all that, hey, a team was born that night, and, like, all that stuff would have sounded a lot more true, like, if you stepped up and took care of him. It's kind of like Howard not signing with XM and signing with Sirius. Like, Sirius just stepped up to the plate, realized that what they had was Howard, and, like, just stepped up and put the money up. Every time Dice started talking, like, hey, this is a team was born that night, and, like, we're going to be huge and all that stuff, like, I think Artie just didn't want to hear it, because if that were true, he would have protected his investment a little.
Fred, it's funny. I was just thinking about this. Remember when we used to do those gigs with Howard at Club Benet and all that stuff? Now maybe it's different because we work with them every day, but we never got paid that night. And it was just sort of like, it was one of those things where not only did we not get paid that night, we never discussed in advance what we were getting paid.
Absolutely,
a check would arrive within a week or so, and it would always be fair.
Just, you did it based on good faith.
It was. I always said that a check would arrive, and it would always be more than fair, and then you just moved ahead.
And plus, on top of that, is like I don't think Dice would ever run the risk of like ripping Artie off because look, he's going to want to come on the show again. And he's not going to walk into a room where a guy is sitting in there and it's 4 months and Artie hasn't gotten his money.
I understand it's the way that Artie operates, but I don't know that it's necessary to get that pissed off about not having.
But that's the whole thing. It's like it's like the guy who that's the old joke with the guy who got the flat tire and says, it's like, I gotta go into the house. I gotta get a flashlight. And as he's walking up the front walk, he's like, the guy, son of a bitch, isn't gonna have a flashlight. And it's like, that bastard's not gonna give me a flashlight. And he knocks on the door. The guy opens the door and he punches him in the face.
Where's my fucking flashlight?
Yeah, it's like he wasn't gonna give me the flashlight. He already had an axe to grind before he got there.
Rick in Maine, you're on the wrap-up show with Fred, Gary, and Benji.
Hey, Fred, Gary, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
Look, I'm going to put an end to one thing for sure. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a big Artie Lange fan. And when he announced he was going to the Borgata with Dice, my wife called to get us tickets for that. The girl said there were over 300 seats still available. But then when Atlantic City closed down, we did not go. Then we heard the show was sold out. Artie sold those 300 tickets, not Dice.
No, but Dice is
That's not even an issue.
No, Dice said there was only 200. And then he came out with, the show was sold out. Artie's the man. Dice, if it's going to be an Artie Dice thing, it's going to be Artie's going to be the leader. Dice needs to learn that he's no longer the headliner and start following.
All right, you tell him.
Or you tell Dice.
Yeah, you tell Dice that. It's true.
Hey, who do you think feels they need the other one more right now?
I don't think Artie feels he needs Dice at all. I think that's the issue.
But do you think Dice feels he needs Artie?
I don't think Dice.
I think he does.
I don't think he feels like he needs them, but I think that
to get to the level.
I think that Artie helps a lot.
what I was trying to say there is there was a certain excitement about seeing Artie and Dice together, and I think Artie is a little full of himself, like, hey, fuck you, Dice, I don't need you. And he'd say, what comics hook up together? Remember that big Kings of Comedy tour with Bernie Mac and all those guys, and Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx are going to get together? It's kind of cool when two comedians
It's
get
cool
together.
when two comedians get together if that's what they want to do. I always got that. What I got out of that Kings of Comedy was that it was four guys who were pals who thought this would be fun to go on the road together.
Right.
And it might be good business too.
I think in that opening salvo that you said there, Ralph, was I think it came across like I really had no interest in seeing you before, Artie, but now I will see you because someone good on it is going to be in the
but I couldn't get a word in edgewise and correct that. You know what I mean? I was just.
I think the way he was feeling in that moment, it was like that was like pouring salt in the wound.
I don't think that Artie's so full of himself. I think, again, he sees the power of the show. Artie is, let me tell you something. I've done a lot of comedy gigs with Artie. He's very funny. He is, like, almost immediately from when he came on the show, he was almost instantly beloved. And it would be, we'd go, the LA station used to hire us to go out there to do a show, and it would be a bunch of people in Artie. And, like, from the second the first comedian hit the stage, people would be screaming for Artie. And people love him.
People love him. He's a great guy, and I just like I said, I think it's everything you guys are saying, about not wanting to take it and not getting paid right away, and getting paid less and all that. But I also think it's Artie is just sort of doing something to make himself miserable. He doesn't want to, like psychologically, he doesn't want to be happy. It's like he could let that $5,000
That's
go.
another issue.
What if
like Fred was saying, he's getting himself all fucking. I think Fred hit every nail on the head. He's getting himself all worked up over this stuff, and it's little things, and it's just
Ralph, I disagree with you on that. I think the $5,000 means a lot to him, not because of the value of the money, but the fact that that's what he was going to get paid. You honor that. We talked about before about gambling. I mean, I was kidding around about your little bet, but
especially since you didn't pay me on my bet with.
But
the,
something.
American
I mean,
Idol.
You didn't win the
I'm not
American
spending.
Idol
I'm
thing.
not spending Artie's money because that would only piss him off. But I mean, Artie's doing okay right now. Would everybody agree with that?
No,
Is Artie doing okay
Artie
financially?
Listen, I think we could all agree that if a month went by and Artie didn't have the $5,000, he'd be perfectly fine.
So
wait,
it's got nothing
why-
to do with the cash.
Wait, Gary.
Yeah.
Why couldn't, if Artie wanted to be paid that night and Dice sits him down on a piece of paper, he says, write down your address and all that stuff, couldn't Artie say, hey, I'm used to getting paid day? Is that so hard to do? Man up and say, hey.
Or say, is there someone here from the Borgata? Cut me a check.
You're right. You're right. Artie probably should have said something that night, but he's a nice guy. He doesn't like conflict.
Okay, but then, Dice, how long is a check going to take? You can't say send me a check and then get all pissed because a check takes a week.
Because
you know what
Dice
I mean?
is not an accountant.
And I think we've said all along here, Ralph, it's not just the money. That's part of it. It's not all
There's
of
something
it.
bigger going on.
Ross Zapin just walked in here. Ross,
How are you?
Yes.
you fared very well in the studio today. What did you want to say?
No, I just think that it was a communication issue. I truly believe that.
But you don't think there's more going on besides the money?
Yes, there's absolutely.
No, I'm asking Ross.
On Artie's side or Dice's side?
Well, let's say Artie's side. Either one, but let's start with Artie.
I don't think Dice cares
I
one way or
think,
the other.
I cornered, and I hope I'm not speaking out of school. I asked Artie after the show, I said, look, if you truly don't want to take it to the next level or do more, then say so. Because Dice, I think, came into this not knowing really who Artie was when he first came on the show. He works with Don Jamieson and other comics, and they said, hey, Artie does stand-up, and he's really good. So I think in Dice's mind, it's like, hey, look, why don't you come with me and do some shows? Not knowing maybe he could sell out the Borgata himself and do other venues. Other issues going on in Artie's mind, I think things spiraled on the air today, and there clearly has to be. I think, probably Ralph may have threw in a bomb and pissed him off, but
Does Artie want to take it to the next level?
according to him, he does. He's willing to do other shows. But I said, look, if you really don't want to, then if you don't feel comfortable saying something, have your representatives do so. But I don't.
I think that's exactly what Dice did. He saw he saw that it sort of worked. He didn't know if it was how it was going to work. It was going to work. It worked out great. And whether it's because he's getting plugs in the show or Artie's bringing this to that or who's ever using whoever, it worked out great. And hey, let's keep going with this.
But is Artie being the nice guy again there? Is he saying, yeah, I'll do it, but not really thinking it through and dealing with it, I guess, when the issue comes?
Call me crazy, but this is like a pattern. This is like, I got to have Dana. I don't need Dana. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
this is
I got to
talent.
have it.
But wait a second. We're talking about talent also.
No,
but talent is quirky.
Yeah. No, but Gary, you're right, and that's what I'm saying. Artie is doing something again to make himself miserable.
No, but it is at times Artie's like, hey, this would be great if we work together, and at times it's like, hey, I don't need anybody. Artie does get into those I don't need anybody sort of things.
Well, there was that statement at one point when he was feeling a lot of pressure. He was going to make the movie. Artie's going to do what Artie's going to do. And it's like, well, what the hell does that mean? Artie's going to do what Artie's going to do. But what does that mean? And he just kept repeating it like a mantra.
And look, maybe someone else, maybe his manager, maybe his agent is saying certain things to him. And like I think you were saying, Fred, maybe somebody at the Borgata said, hey, look, you don't really need Dice.
But I think you hit something on the head, too. It's like a lot of performers are just quirky people. It's like, like Gary and I are always talking about, like, Chuck Berry and all the riders and stuff like that he has. If you don't have the shit that he wants right then and there, if you don't have the band, if you don't have the amplifier, if you don't have this, he expects his money right there. You got to have a Cadillac for him. You got to have a Fender Twin. It's like all that shit's in his little rider. And if you fuck up, you're going to pay him right on the spot.
Well, he
walks.
Well, we got to wrap up now. Artie's doing exactly what he wants to do right now. He's on a plane on his way to L.A.
I hope they pay him from Entourage
beforehand.
They'll have an envelope.
Listen, I gotta get paid to screw this chick on film.
But thanks to Ralph for calling in, Benji, Fred, Gary, Ross Sapin, everybody. It's been a heck of a day. We'll see how it all comes out tomorrow. You've been listening to the wrap-up show, a special afternoon wrap-up show, only
almost
on
mid-evening.
Right, only on Howard 100.
On the show tomorrow, we'll try to put you through, and if Howard picks it up, he picks it up.
Thanks, Double J, for your call. Now, if you missed what this bone of contention was, we got a clip of when Artie first got wind of this, and he wasn't too happy.
In the middle of the party with naked chicks and drinking, you're busy telling Richard he's funnier than Artie. What has Artie got to do with it?
Richard has been upset about Artie in particular bashing his comedy.
Now Artie's not going to be around, you two idiots.
So why are you going to knock him? I didn't knock him. Your biggest criticism of me, Sal, on this show, and any fan's criticism, is that I'm never honest with people. So the one time I'm a little honest going, Richard, who just started doing stand-up, might need some work at it. You guys go pout like a couple of fucking cunts. Oh. So just do the Tampa gig. Well, I'll do my thing. You guys do your thing.
But Sal wasn't trying to start something.
Right.
He's just saying, and it
leave my name out of it if I'm not there.
So here's a question, Artie. Were you being a little honest, or were you fucking with him because it was a roast night, or a little of both?
Well, that clip that we played of the roast day, I am clearly busting his chops a little more because it's a roast. Sal came in and said nastier shit than I did about his stand-up.
Sure.
So why aren't you mad at Sal?
No, not about the stand-up. Trust me, I was.
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
Did, the roast day.
That's right. I was in the back, and Levy was saying something about you just called me and Richard both the hack. I came in.
Which I didn't do, another lie.
It's okay, but whatever. I don't remember exactly. I was in the back. I came in, and Howard said, he looked at me, and you guys were breaking Richard's balls, and Howard said, Sal, is Richard Christie's act bad? And I said, awful. And I started laughing. And it was that's the only joke.
Mine is in the same exact spirit of that.
But it was just a right hook out of nowhere. I laughed my ass off and looked at Richard, and that's where I stopped. But I was just breaking his balls.
You kept it?
No,
you
didn't.
You said a couple other insults.
I might have, but I didn't know the severity of all of this. And then
what severity? What
Richard took it to heart.
Well, the hard thing about this whole thing is I know, like, if us joking in the room, we know that. But the audience, when they heard you say that, they could think, for years that, well, this guy's going to suck. We're not going to give him a chance.
Can I tell you something? You know what
Richard, you two are out of your fucking mind. You two are those fans who do that. That's why you think everybody else is like that.
You know what I compare this to?
When Sal does something on the air like the panties, he thinks, all the fans are going to hate me now. Because you think they're just like you.
I compare this to the bit that we just did this week or last week, where Crackhead Bob everybody thought he was going to be gay. Nobody thought Crackhead Bob was going to be gay if he did gay stuff. Right. Nobody thinks because Artie has knighted you as unfunny, well, we think
Which
he's
I
fucking
never
around.
did,
Right,
by
I
the
know,
way.
I know. But well, he took a shot at you in the context of a roast, but you did take it very personally.
I did. I mean, because I look up to Artie, and when Artie, when you said that meant so much to me, when you came up to me after that benefit,
The Steve Perez benefit.
yeah, for you to come up and say, "Hey, Richard, good job." I don't even know if you remember it, but it meant so much to me. And then for like a month later to do that, it just shocked me so much.
Well, you know, it's hard for me for Sal to come up with me at the Webster Theater and go, geez, Art, I know some people going through a heroin addiction, and I'm all real sorry for you for being on heroin. And then I get into the studio Monday, and Sal's made up a heroin song about me. That's the same exact thing.
All right, if that's how you look at it.
It's exactly the
That's
same
a good
thing.
example. All right, we never
You two have got to fucking calm down, get thicker skin. I mean, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, Richard, I don't know what to say to you. I was busting your chops.
I know.
And it's not about the fact of who's funny or who isn't funnier. The fact is I'm not there, and you're creating hostility between me and someone I work with me not being there by going, you're funnier than Artie. That creates hostility
You're right.
between me
and I'm
them.
sorry, and that was definitely taken out of context.
What a friend should do is go, look, you really feel that way, they confront Artie about it. Like,
I have. But the thing is, he doesn't want to do that. He feels bad, and he feels that maybe you would go on the air and make a joke out of that as well, because you don't take us seriously.
No, I've learned to have a thick skin on this show, but with you, Artie, it's different because I admire you so much, and like I kind of look up to you like almost like a father figure when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh, dude, you're putting way too much pressure on me. I'm your father figure.
Well,
you're gonna
I
have
mean,
trouble.
when it comes to comedy,
comedy
yeah,
father.
when it
First
comes
of all,
to comedy,
I'm the most overrated comedian on the planet because I'm on the Stern Show. I'm not that good of a comic. I really
you
am
are
not.
Though. You're amazing.
Believe
I've seen
me,
you
I'm
live
not.
so many times, and you're great. And
Believe me, I'm not. I'm really like I'm not even in the league of some people who come in here. I'm not, and I've had some success in my life because I look like John Belushi and I've made some money and all this stuff.
Artie, hold
but I'm
on.
just saying I don't want that responsibility of you looking up to me as some sort of father. I don't know what the fuck, because I will disappoint the shit out of you, like I've disappointed everyone else in my life. I don't think I'm funnier than you or Sal or anybody. I'm just trying to make a living and just retire when I'm 45.
Bob Levy,
I
you
want
got
to get a
anything to
liver.
add to this?
Yes, this has been a weird day, man. When I heard all this shit this morning,
It is. It's a little weird. I don't know what to say. Like I love these
Everybody
two
needs
guys, but they're like It's hard for me to accept that they're talking about me behind my back like that. It's kind of weird. Like they're sitting there at scores going, "You're funnier than Artie. You're like how am I? That's hostile towards me."
But I
how
even
am I
said,
supposed to do
that I don't agree with that. I think you're a genius, Artie. I could never even compare to you. And
But when Sal was talking to you, did you say
I'm
stop?
not a genius.
Don't bring
Don't
up
say I'm a
Artie.
genius.
That's not the issue.
No, but Rich, I mean,
but
Rich,
it wasn't.
no, I just
Hold
said,
on, guys.
I
I
said,
mean-
well, thank you, Sal.
Hey, let me
even though
explain
I don't
this.
agree.
Wait, hold on, Bob. I mean, Richard's like practically in tears here. Seriously, I mean,
Really?
you can tell how affected he is by this. I'm not kidding. Like, it's upsetting.
Richard, I love you. You're an unbelievably talented guy. That's why you're here. But my only point with the stand-up is that you're just at the beginning stages of it, and you're a million times ahead even where I was with it. I mean, there's other stuff you do that I am not capable of doing comedically. And if you took that in a more harsh way, I'm sorry. That day of that roast, the timing was bad. We did that gig, and I genuinely thought you had a great set that night. But then we come in, it's the roast, we're on the show, and I'm like, you go up, listen to what I'm saying. You go, the crowd loves you because you look like a Virginia ham. That's what I said. You took that personally? And then Sal
Well, I
says
mean,
you're
that
awful.
I knew you were
mean,
joking, but just it's hard for me because
I don't think you suck. And that day it was bad timing because I had just complimented you. For the record, I was totally being truthful when I said you had a good set. And that day of the roast, it was completely busting chops. It really was. I mean, it was. You know, I don't know.
But
how...
but it went further than that, Artie. The thing is that Richard takes it personal. Like, I'll give you another example. When like Richard does a gay stunt, we know you don't like the gay stuff. But then you just turn. But when you keep harping on it, like over and over, like it's not funny. Those guys are assholes. It's not funny. I'm just telling you what bothers.
I'm being truthful with you.
I know.
I
but
think
then
it's
hold on.
demeaning to
Then
you
when
two,
Eric,
I mean, to have to get naked to try to be funny.
But it sounds like there's some underlying resentment here with Sal, like what you're saying, between you guys and Artie. That's kind of coming to the forefront now.
No, we'll sit in the back after a gay stunt. We know Artie. It's funny that Artie gets offended. That makes great radio.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a while, like when the email will come in and Artie just chime in and say, yeah, that stuff's just got to stop. It's just not funny.
I agree.
Then we'll say,
that's me being dead honest.
Right,
I think it's
and
awful.
Then, but the thing is, then when Erica Durant's happened, like when Howard was trying to question why Erica Durant was crying, and he was talking about it and discussing it and saying, well, that's the way it goes. Then all of a sudden you chime in and go, because those two assholes came in and it was mean and it wasn't funny.
But
that's what he thought.
I know, but that's fine. But
Sal, have you ever seen me? Have you seen me laughing to where I'm almost crying at some of your bits that you do?
No, but let me get. But let me get to the point.
You don't have to. Both of you guys have done brilliant stuff.
I just want to get to the point.
Thrown up laughing. When you do something I think is stupid, I'm going to be honest.
I know.
About it.
And listen, I'm okay with it, but when I'm working
clearly
with
you're not.
Hold
okay
on, let me finish. I want to talk about on Richard's behalf because the guy we talk all the time.
Working. That system's been working.
On top of what happened with the roast and the hack stuff and everything else, and then every time he comes in, it's gay and unfunny. After a while, he develops a complex. Does Artie like me? Doesn't he like me?
Yeah, I think not only I think
I love Richard. I don't like naked Richard.
I know, but I'm just letting you know that there is a consistency there that Richard feels that sometimes he's getting hammered
and
on.
Sal feels it too.
And I do feel it too, but I've learned, like Artie said, I have to have thick skin, otherwise I'd blow my fucking brains out. I mean, I love this job, but there are days where I just want to die. I don't want to face people.
But you can't be the guy who, writes the Baba Booey has horrible breath song, who writes the Artie's a fucking heroin whore song, and then say, "Oh my God!" But it hurts when you make fun of it.
But maybe that speaks to Richard's argument that he doesn't do that stuff about Artie. Like he doesn't write the heroin song. He doesn't. I mean, clearly he's got all this respect in the world for Artie, and maybe that's why I don't want to put words in your mouth, Richard. Maybe that's why this is affecting you so much, and Sal jumping in for you isn't the right move. And Artie, it seems like you're pissed more just because they were talking about you and you weren't there. Like, what they said is almost not as important as the fact that you weren't there to sort of defend yourself.
Of course not. It's not the fact of who's funny or who isn't. That's a matter of opinion. I'm talking about the fact that you guys are talking to me in a hostile way when I'm not there. Clearly,
we just don't want you to like hate us for doing.
I don't hate you. And if you think I hate you, I'm sorry. That is not the case.
I mean, because it's funny, like when you walk out of the room when we get naked and stuff like it's hilarious, but
because it's real, it really is. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But we don't want you to like lose respect for us. We're worried that like you could end up, just hating everything we do because we come in naked.
It's not possible. You're here because you're funny.
And let me ask you a question.
I think you're funny as hell. I think I mean, it's complicated, but you guys clearly want, and you've asked me for advice in this, careers in show business, maybe down the road. I think all this shit you're doing is not helping that case. But at the same time, I don't want to ruin the show. I don't want to be the guy to tell you not to do that because it's obviously funny. I think if this was all you guys had, if all you guys had in your comedic arsenal was getting naked, I would be fine with it. But clearly you're above that, and you don't have to do that.
Well, what do you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say when I heard the conversation at Scores, I really didn't feel like Sal was being hostile when he made that Artie comment. It was kind of like Artie is like the pinnacle of funny, and Richard kind of matches.
And Artie, I apologize about that, and that's exactly. And I'm glad Will brought it up because it's always been the Artie talk with Richard, and I always said to Richard, that's just the way, like you said, like that's Artie is, and I know Artie don't take it personal. And that night when I was talking to Richard and making him aware of how funny he is, I'm like, dude, you're funny. You're fucking funnier than Artie. I used you as an example, and I apologize. I would, it wasn't Artie's not funny. It was my way of making Richard aware.
I don't care if you would have said I'm not funny. I just don't want you to create some sort of rift between I'm friendly with.
I mean, if Will explains it to you, it was merely an example. That would be like me saying to you,
all right, well, that part of it, I didn't know. It was presented to me like it was totally like a hostile type
Actually,
thing.
to me, the way
I could never, ever be hostile towards you.
But it
Artie.
wasn't you talking, Richard. It was Sal
right,
talking.
and I apologize, Artie.
I was mad at Sal for saying.
And I don't blame you, because if you hear it, just for what it's worth, it sounds bad. But I was using you as the example because it was you that really broke Richard's heart because he admires you so much. So that's what.
Wow. Well, I'm really sorry about that. And again, I'm not. I'm not comfortable like being some sort of pinnacle of funny. I don't think that's how
But you are to a lot of people. A lot of people in the audience feel the same way.
Artie, maybe you should send Richard some pajamas.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob, what did you want to say?
Now, I just want to say, like, when they had a roast, I didn't realize when Artie was attacking me, and I ended up calling him later, and I go, dude, what the fuck? I remember Artie, I said, what do you hate me?
Forget it. I had to talk a million people. It was my roast, and I talked 4 people off the ledge.
Then once I understood it, I was like, oh, fine. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. I mean,
listen, I came back. If you remember that roast, we did a show in the morning.
Yeah.
I napped a little bit. I had a drink on the way over, and I was like, you know what? I'm going in there swinging. And I think it'll make for a better show. And I was shot out of a cannon, and in that spirit. And look, I totally said stuff that I don't mean. And you know what, though, Richard? Honestly, if it makes you feel better, that night of that Perez thing, I totally meant what I said. You had a great set. It's the best set I've ever seen you have, and I wanted to let you know that. And you're going to get 1,000,000 times better. I've been doing stand-up the first time I ever did stand-up was the summer of 1987. It's almost been 20 years, man. Yeah. It's like I'm ready to die. But by the time you've been doing it for 20 years, I'm sure you're going to be 1,000,000 times better than me. Believe me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break on yet another very special wrap-up show. When we come back, a topic we all love to weigh in on. What's wrong with Ralph?
I love these two guys. I really do.
Me too, Artie.
They're funny. They're funny. I just don't feel like getting like I hate being in the middle of shit.
You guys can hug and kiss during the break. You're listening to the wrap-up show on Howard 100 and Howard 101.
You're listening to the wrap-up show with John Hein and Gary 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Call in 888-STERN-100. That's 888-STERN-100. The wrap-up show exclusively on Howard 100 and Howard 101. We're back to the wrap-up show. Make your voice heard. Call in 888-STERN-100. 888-STERN-100.
Hey, Ralph, what's going on with you, man? I was talking about you the other day. Like, are you with any girls?
Am I with any girls?
Well, it's constantly, is Ralph gay discussion when Ralph's name comes up, and I keep saying he's not, because if he was, he'd be out of the closet. Why would he be in the closet? And everyone's like, don't you think it's a little strange now? The guy's like 40-something years old. He has he doesn't want to share his life at all. He wants to stay in his house alone with his thoughts.
He didn't come to the Scores party. He wasn't interested in that.
How come he didn't go to that?
Why wasn't I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was tired.
Welcome back to the wrap-up show. John, Gary, Artie, Sal, Richard, Mike Morse, Greg from Howard TV. 888-STERN-100. Teddy behind the board. Okay, Teddy? Don't mope. It's okay. Now, the big question, of course, was and Kevin, of course, here, the intern. Let's talk about Ralph. Howard seemed genuinely concerned that Ralph has gone into this shell. I mean, is Ralph any different than he's always been, or have you noticed anything, Gary?
He's a little quieter. You know, it's funny. I think about Ralph more than I should for whatever reason. And no, I mean, I think
we all do.
No, but sometimes I'll be driving home and I think about Ralph, and like one of the things that alternately pisses me off about him or makes me feel sorry for him is he's always made fun of me for being married and kids, and you're such a sucker chasing your kids around. And no, and he'll goof on me about it, like you're pussy whipped and everything. And I thought this a long time ago at the time, but you can never make the argument. And now that it's getting closer to the reality, and the reality is, and this is what makes me feel sad for him sometimes, you know, it's Ralph, his mom, and his sister, and Ralph has a sister that he adores. But when Ralph gets to be 65 or 70 years old, and, you know, the day comes when you lose your mom because they just don't live forever, and, you know, like Ralph's going to have his sister who's got her whole family going on, and that's it. And if anything ever happened to his sister, Ralph is sort of alone in the world. And I always sort of made that point, like, you know, when he would goof on me, why do you have a family? What do you chase the kids around? Well, that's, I mean, you don't have I didn't have kids so they could wipe my ass when I'm 80.
Right.
But you have kids so that you have a family and you have a life around you. And I sometimes feel bad for Ralph that he's not going to have that.
Let's hope Sam Simon's eating right.
But Ralph always seems like the kind of guy who's content with being alone. I mean, he says, I've got my TV, I've got my action figures, and I hang with Howard, I hang with Stamos, this and that. He seems to be okay.
I think sometimes that's genuinely true, and sometimes that's a bit of a front. I think sometimes he wishes there was more to life, but he just doesn't want to deal with it.
Artie, what do you think about this?
You know, again, this is going to be one of those wrap-up show rants that I hope doesn't sound retarded. I'm going to try to make a theory about Ralph, because I think I have a friend who's similar to him. I think Ralph is a guy who is kind of talented in a bunch of different areas. Right. Like, Ralph's a guy, he could clearly have some sort of creative job somewhere. He could be some sort of stylist, obviously. I think he could even go into sales. He's an intelligent guy. But I don't think he's ever been able to focus on one thing because of an OCD thing he might have going on.
And he'll be the first to admit that.
Right. And because he hasn't been able to focus on one thing, he hasn't had a career that he put together that maybe he's sort of comfortable with and proud of, and I think he gets the blues about that.
Oh, I think you've hit it right on the head. I know for a fact that Ralph has looked back and reflected on his life and thought to himself, and you're absolutely right, he's talented. I've had some great ideas. Why do I not finish them? Why have I never gone ahead with them?
Right, and he's smart enough maybe to realize that that's something that could be a little depressing at times, and I think he might have some dark moments where he doesn't feel like dealing with it, and it's hard to leave the house. Now, I'm relating this to the fact why I get depressed sometimes, and I have a friend who's like a multi-talented kid, but he never focused on one thing, and he has some regrets about not focusing on one. That's just a complete theory, and I think having those feelings makes you withdraw. And again, look who he hangs out with, Howard and Beth and some of these other couples that we all know, and Gary, you have a complete life altogether. It's hard standards to live up to, it's maybe he feels like he's not part of that club,
Ralph is already off in his theory there.
Boy, there's nothing more interesting than sitting around and listening to a bunch of people talk about you.
Yeah, no, I know, right?
It is weird. It's weird.
It's very weird. Hey, first of all, can I just say something about Richard showering? Richard, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, Ralph.
Yeah. Gary said if somebody's complaining, really, I'm complaining, and, we're supposed to do that thing where I'm supposed to dress you up for Halloween for something.
Yeah.
And really, I'm not going to do it if you're not showered.
I'll shower that day for you, Ralph. And you're dressing me up like a zombie, so it'll be more realistic if I stink.
You don't need to smell for it.
But, hey, so Ralph, first things first, address what I said first. I'm curious.
No joking around.
Okay.
First of all, Gary, I don't resent you for having a family.
Oh, I didn't say you resent me. I said you goof on...
I'll joke around and go like, geez, Gary, why'd you get married? You got all this opportunity and but that kind of thing.
But once you hear it a million times from you start, okay, it's a joke, but you start to wonder, is it a joke?
Nah, yeah, you've always had a little bit more of a bug up your ass about me.
But it's not about you. That's part of my sensitivity with you.
I don't remember ever saying that recently. You do know what I mean? It's like an old bit. When you were getting married, I think that was a joke. Anyway,
I don't
look down. You have this view that I look down on you.
You're missing the point.
You go to scores that you're married.
No.
I don't look down on you, Gary. I like you. I really do.
It's not about whether we like each other or not. I like you too. I really do. And it's not about whether we like each other or not. It's a jab that I think you do as a defense mechanism or not. But you do throw the jab. Like, you'll be in my office and somebody will go, are you going to that? I'm like, nah, I got to do a football practice. Like, maybe you shouldn't have gotten married. It's always like a little jab, but when you do it so often, and I don't dislike you for it. That's the point.
Okay, good. I'll keep doing it. So what's the point?
So what about what Artie said?
No, you know what? Let me try to explain this a little bit better, Ralph. This is me projecting how I feel on you. Like,
go ahead. I don't think you're that far off.
A better way of saying it to me, and this is more about what I said at the end. Like this crowd that we sort of hang out with, like Howard went through a divorce, whatever, but. Like him and Beth, like that's a winning couple. Right. You know what I mean? Like Richie Notar and his wife, like that's a winning, very together couple. They seem like they have it all. They seem like those people you see on the cover of Home and Garden or something. Right. And that's a tough crowd to sort of compete with. And I feel like, I don't have it nearly together. You feel extra disheveled around people like that. And Ralph runs in those circles, and I don't know, maybe it. Well, I know it gets to me. I'm like, fuck, I'm not in this league.
I'll tell you that's where your theory falls apart, though. I don't look at that and go, geez, I wish I had that. I mean, there are times where something good happens. Things do happen good in my life.
No,
and I sort of don't have somebody to share that with and say, like, oh, guess what happened, or we're gonna do this or that, or bounce things off of, you know what I mean? It's usually just me, and then I got all these thoughts in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So sometimes, but then the flip side of that, of always having someone there and not be able to do what I want when I want. I mean, I didn't go to Scores because I just didn't feel like it. I don't feel obligated to really do anything that I don't want to do, and I love that freedom. I mean, I come home when I want. I get up when I want. I watch TV till when I want. I mean, it's just. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. You said you were going to be here, and you guys complaining about your wives.
But Ralph, what about?
I don't want to be with the same woman, so I'm not going to get married.
But what about just from a social sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Just being nice and being socially correct. Like I know, okay, it's a thin premise that it's Ronnie's birthday, but it's Ronnie's birthday. So if you didn't want to go to Scores for Scores, why wouldn't you show up for Ronnie's birthday as a friend?
Because here's the deal. But by the time I got home and I went to the gym and I ate, it was going on around 9 o'clock or so. And I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of beat. And I'm just saying, if I go now, I don't have that barometer. When I go to Scores, I'm there till 5 in the morning. I don't go in and say hi and have a drink and leave. I can't do that. When I try, I can't even do it. I'm in for I'll run into somebody who's got something or this or that, and I'll start drinking. And I just didn't want to shit the whole day away on Friday.
All right, is Artie on the mark when he talks about that? There's a certain depression that you get from thinking that you are talented and that there's things that you wanted to do and just never got to do them?
I mean, I guess there's something in there. I mean, I don't sit and think, oh, geez, I should have stuck with doing makeup special effects and I could have been doing this or that right now. I mean, I like jumping around on different things. I like, I'm good at that, jumping around on different things, but then that's also my downfall because I don't stick with one thing and do that one thing. You know what I mean?
That was my point, focusing. You know what made me think that, Ralph, is because you got to hear Howard a couple times off the air when I would compliment certain things on the Channel 9 show and like makeup and stuff, and Howard would say, yeah, you know what, all that makeup, that was all Ralph with no budget. He would compliment. He said he's a real talented guy, you know.
That watch you were talking about that Howard gave away, I designed that whole thing in the box and everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That
like,
watch you loved. I mean, I could do stuff like that, but I don't know. It's just
Ralph, the thing I get from it all is that you don't want anyone telling you what to do. Like, you don't want to have to answer anybody. You just want to dictate, your terms 24/7, regardless of any consequence.
Obviously, that's a little childish and not realistic, and I certainly am, it's bad to, and I've never had a roommate, you know what I mean? So I have no I just can't deal with people around me. And I don't mind. I don't get depressed and stay home. I love being home. I mean, it's like I got a nice place. I got a great TV. I got a ton of shit around here. I got all the little projects I can work on and stuff. Boy, those people they arrest and stick them in like, home jail.
Yeah.
That's it. That sounds like.
That's exciting to you?
Was that?
Hey, man, stick me in my house for about 6 months. Oh, that'd be horrible.
And what about the stuff I was talking about the fact that you could end up being 60 years old and being the only guy that you know?
Absolutely.
That's the price you pay. For
that's the price you pay for having fun. I mean, I'm getting angrier and angrier by the day. I'm going to be that fucking old man, like yelling at the kids not to cross the lawn. You know, it's gonna be sad.
Well, Ralph, you heard the big announcement this morning, right?
Which was what?
About the Sirius Internet Radio.
No, what's it?
The 2-day free trial, October 25th and 26th.
Perfect segue.
That's when you like that. That's when the bitter half's going to be on. When the Gary roast is going to be on.
That's as good as Richard's comedy.
Hey. No, but seriously, that's a big deal. Anybody who doesn't have the equipment for whatever reason will get free Howard and all of Sirius for those 2 days and get to check it out for themselves.
Yeah, everybody really should. Like, what is this? Do you just go to Sirius.com?
You go to Sirius.com and you can pre-register, and it really is. So many people I know that have it say, "I wish my friends could, hear it and realize what they're missing." So here's the shot.
Is it just 2 days, or it's 2 days you pick?
No, 2 days.
No, those 2 days. But those 2 days are going to be when the bitter half goes on and when the Gary roast happens, October 25th and 26th.
Try this 2-day trial. Listen to the Stern Show, and you may laugh so hard you'll crack one of your Carson's ribs, right, Gary?
While you're lying down on your 1-800 mattress.
You'll piss your 800 mattress.
Drinking John Heineken's.
Hey-o.
Hey-o.
Well, but Ralph, I mean, was Howard coming out of nowhere? Or do you feel any different today than you have?
I think if he was genuinely, like, concerned, he's a good friend, and I think he would make a call and say, "Hey, are you all right?" I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know why I get sort of berated for enjoying myself, and I think some people over there would be better off people if they weren't so afraid to be with their own thoughts.
Well, are you enjoying yourself? That's the big question.
I'm having a party, man. I'm going to watch Casino.
All right, by the way, I got Battlestar Galactica back for you, just if you were wondering.
There we go. And winter's coming, man. I'm going to hibernate. It's going to be great.
All right, thanks, Ralph. Have a good one. And thank you, Artie, Sal, and Richard. Are you guys patched up now? Is everything okay?
Yeah. I love Artie.
Yeah, this cleared up a lot.
Mike Morris, thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Thanks for understanding, Artie.
And thank you for listening to the wrap-up show on Howard 100 and Howard 101.
Stern Show ends, and the wrap-up show begins. Welcome to the wrap-up show.
The wrap-up show.
A recap and behind-the-scenes look at the Stern Show. Call in
888-STERN-100.
The wrap-up show with John Hein and Gary Dell'Abate. The wrap-up show.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the wrap-up show. I'm John Hein. Gary making his way down from the studio. Artie Lange joining us here on the wrap-up show. 888-STERN-100, 888-783-7610. That's the number to call to talk about today's fascinating show, which began with an angry Gary Dell'Abate, who I could tell is still angry at the Mets not making the playoffs. And yes, the Mets and Pirates have one thing in common. They'll both be golfing and watching everybody else.
You're a Pirate fan, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, what a jerk off.
You know the pain. Fuck you. Supported your team, God only knows.
I love it.
Scott the engineer is back. Does anybody care? We'll talk about that. The new holiday gift policy. What's going on there? There's a lot of chat in the back office about that policy. Plus, Sarah Silverman came by, but of course, we've got to talk about Dr. Keith, Sal, and Christine. And let me start by asking you guys, how was that originally going to be set up? Because Howard said he was debating when to bring who in, and how did that go down?
We never talked about exactly what we were going to do, but I guess there was a discussion. Should we bring in Sal and Christine first, and then bring in the doctor? Should we bring in the doctor first and see what he's going to do? And we just sort of more or less brought everyone in. We brought Dr. Keith in for a second, but we more or less brought everybody in at once, and let him work his magic. I love that guy. I got to tell you, I love that guy. I think I don't know how he was.
Try sitting in his apartment alone with him.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think.
Can I get a drink there, Keith? Or,
I think that. Well,
I'll tell you more about the 8th grade.
Artie, give me a list of shrinks you like.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know of how helpful. It's great for the show. I don't know how helpful this whole fucking thing is.
But you don't think any shrink is helpful.
Sydney on MASH.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that. I think there's probably some out there that are helpful, but how is it helpful in this environment on any level?
I'll tell you the only reason I thought it was helpful today, because I think you're right, it is a bit of a circus, but if they didn't come in and speak today, they were never going to discuss this ever again, and they may never discuss it again. But they had gone to therapy, they were done, and that was it.
I think they're in trouble.
I think so, too.
You know, I mean, honestly, I do, and I went over the line. It's rare that I say I went over the line, and I went over the line today.
Which part on
Where?
When you said that...
It wasn't even funny. I don't know. It just rolled off my tongue, the jizz in her hair thing.
I didn't. See, I heard you earlier say that somebody said, Howard goes, is the emotional friend going to be here? And he goes, yeah, some of he's going to be on her dress. I thought that was over the line.
That was before she came in.
Right.
I'm talking, this was in front of her.
And what did you say?
She even said,
what was she
okay, enough. I mean, after Artie said it, she laughed, but she was like, and I think you even thought to yourself, maybe I went one step
I
too
did.
far.
The question was, have you ever seen Christine mad? And I said, you should see her when she has jizz in her hair. That was bad. I mean, you know, Sal owes me one, man. That's one of those times on the show where Sal owes, and I'll get it. One day I'll be getting it, and he'll, you know, dish it out.
The other thing is, how honest can Christine, Sal's a special case because he always puts it all out there, but, like, how much can Christine say? And in the beginning, she was holding back, but by the time, you know, things got rolling, you were hearing a lot of stuff that you felt like you were looking at them on the couch.
But that's not much different than therapy. Nobody walks into a therapy session the first time with a therapist and tells them everything. Over time, he gets it out of you. I thought that if that were a therapy session, which was about an hour, I thought they made amazing progress as the hour went on.
I think we're just trying to we're trying to make ourselves feel better for ruining a young, vibrant couple.
See, I disagree. I really do, Artie. I think that I don't know that what we did today is going to fix them, but they were never, ever, ever going to talk about it ever again if they didn't have today.
Right.
So maybe today they talk about it and they decide, you know what, we shouldn't be married anymore, and then we fucked it up. Or maybe they go home today and they decide they're going to do something. And granted, we got our entertainment out of it, but they were never going to talk about it again.
Sal, let me ask you this. At any point, did you want to punch me in the face today?
No, you were definitely the comic relief. And I spoke to my wife afterwards about you, and she agreed.
Wow, what's she doing later? I mean, man, she looked good today, too. Christine looked hot.
She was extra.
She's got that new pink streak going down the side. See, that
what about that?
I talked to Gary about that.
I hadn't noticed. Is that new?
This is so great. Listen to this.
Well, that bothered me, too, because here she is saying that she's committed to me and she loves me, yet she's doing herself up like she's, going back on the market. You know what I mean?
But that's how you look at it. Maybe she just wants to look good. Sal said to me, she got this pink streak in her hair. And Sal said the first thing he thought of when he saw it is that for me or is that for the emotional friend?
Yeah, because
and that's how he thinks of everything now.
If you're selling an old car, what do you do? The first thing you do is you polish up the fenders. So
I love your analogies.
Seriously, your analogies are the best.
A broad is always a car or like a wheelbarrow.
No, you're a wheelbarrow.
But I mean, I just don't get the whole.
In your scenario, does that mean you should never get a car wash?
Here it is with me. If I got a wife
don't go into his world.
If I got a wife who lost 25 pounds, okay, and then all of a sudden streaks up her hair, but is still not playing herself off as sexually to me as she looks, then I'm thinking, well, it certainly ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
She's got them big blue eyes, them big Irish eyes.
So
did you say to her?
What kind of eyes
did you say that to her? Did you say, okay, are you back on the market now?
I said to her, I go, you know what? I go, I love the way you look, and my wife she looks fantastic. I go, but I'm intimidated by that pink streak. That pink streak to me is like when a peacock flails its fucking feathers.
Did any man in here who's not a fruit notice her pink streak?
I didn't notice it.
I didn't see a pink
not
streak.
A fruit.
I'm saying you're her husband, so you knew. But what guy notices?
She's got a hot.
They do that for other women.
She got a pink streak for women?
I'm just saying, who the fuck notices a pink streak?
Maybe the guy who married her and lives with her or sleeps with her.
No, but we're saying if I didn't know her, just as a man, I wouldn't go, wow, look at that hot blonde over there, and look at that pink streak.
I've never seen a pink streak. I'm always looking at her back, though.
Put some ketchup on that thing so you can fucking swallow it and choke on it, you fat slab of shit.
You are mad at me, Sal.
I'm not mad at you, but The point is, look, she got it's like if a girl got a tattoo, whatever. She did something that's appealing, which is nice. It's nice. It's sexual, but when she's not giving me,
I have a tattoo.
when she's not giving anything
I have
off.
a tattoo of a ruler on my cock.
When you brought it up,
you sure that's not a syringe scar?
Sal, when you brought it up with her, what did she say?
Dare you?
Yeah.
Now you just crossed the line.
What did she say when you said, "What's up with that pink streak"? How did she respond?
She kind of responded like you guys, like, "Oh, please cut it out," you know.
Would you want her to gain like 40 pounds?
No, it's not that I want her to do anything. It's just that when, generally when women lose a lot of weight and they doll themselves up, they're fresh on the market.
Generally,
again.
what does that mean?
I ask a lot of men when their wives
Maybe
lose
she's trying
weight.
to turn you on.
I'm not
Sal.
saying that that's what she did to me deliberately, but based on what happened to me in the past, my paranoia is quite high.
Maybe
so
she just wanted to look good for herself.
And she does, and I agree. But to me, it's like, wow, you're really doing yourself up. So when she's doing a pink streak in her hair for herself, that's one thing. But to me, it's like, who are you trying to appeal with that?
Now, if you missed Sal and Christine on with Dr. Keith, Teddy, hit clip number 1 so people can get a sense of what was going on.
She made the commitment to give this guy up and make it work with us again, but it's very difficult for her to open up,
Yeah, it's
because she was very...
It is. Is this right?
Yeah, no, that's
Christine was so affectionate for so long. She was the one who came and hugged me all the time. She was the one who told me she loved me. And now I do it to her, and I don't get it back.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Christine. How could you laugh at a time like
She
this?
laughed at me.
Because he's crying.
This is terrible.
How do you laugh at him?
I'm just laughing because she's making sense.
Well, when we go to therapy, and I did this, she started laughing as well because
it's just nervous.
So you had my sympathy there. Totally.
I love when Artie goes, she's laughing because it's hilarious.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I felt
she clearly hates you.
But the laughing is a nervous reaction, I didn't think that was so.
No, it is a nervous reaction, but at the end of the day, you're being laughed at, and we can look at it from the outside and say it's a nervous reaction, and it is. I agree with you. But when you're the guy crying and somebody's laughing, that's hard to swallow.
When a broad laughs at you crying, that's rough.
Yeah, you're pouring your heart out, and she's laughing at you on the couch. But Artie's chiming in with what he said.
That's my job, man. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I got to feed my fucking kids.
Come over here, take care of the kid.
So, don't yell at me, Sal. I'm just doing my job.
Do you feel better about things after today? After going through that?
No. Nothing's changed.
Do you think anything will come of this?
Why do you feel good about it?
Probably negativity.
No, but will you guys go and see Dr. Keith again?
Yeah, we'll definitely see Dr. Keith. I think my wife was pleased with Dr. Keith. The guy's really, really good. He certainly surprised me, but...
Wait till you see his $8 million apartment that he gets for telling people like you to,
It didn't open up...
divorced anyway.
It didn't open up any door to communicate. Like, you didn't sit there and go... Like, do you agree with me that if Dr. Keith, if you guys didn't do this today, that you were never going to discuss this ever again?
Probably.
So it opens the door a little bit, right?
Yeah, slightly it does, and made me realize certain things about me. Like when I do make those cracks at Christine, those selfish, humiliating cracks, it is me sort of like venting frustration in the same way she laughs at me when I'm crying to her, that she is... that's the way she's channeling her feelings out. So
I just grabbed Sal's hand to tell him, that's okay, Sal.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Thanks.
You know what I didn't realize,
May the Mets win next year for you.
On a serious level, I didn't realize that she was
mad. Play again, you'll be divorced forever.
She was always mad at those songs, Sal? I didn't
Never.
You see, I knew that.
Well, clearly she is mad at him, though.
Well, then it's a mixed she's sending me mixed signals because, first of all, that's another reason why I don't want to listen to the show. Because if I go home and she hears those songs, then I got to sit down and explain that's only comedy. I'm always stretching out the truth.
Yeah,
blah,
but
blah, blah.
the mistake you make is you can't forbid a chick to listen to the show.
You're right.
I tried that, and it's bad.
And what happens? What happens is worse than that.
She gets a third hand.
That's right. What happens is her friends call her, and now they interpret your songs for her.
What's even worse is I tell her friends, don't talk to her about the show. They tell her, I say, don't talk about the show, which is worse than them actually explaining the show to begin with.
Dana had a chick who worked at a hair salon. Just like the ultimate Guidet. she listened all fucking day at the hair salon, and she would get Dana's ear, and it was the worst.
It's the worst.
It was the worst. And she would make a mountain out of a molehill. She would be like, I heard you think Carmen Electra has a nice ass.
If we could just eliminate women, this would be the greatest show in the world.
We don't be gay.
Because they all cause so much trouble.
Again, I don't know.
All we need is hookers.
I don't know what Sal's
and nothing else.
But I do know. Sal, the other thing I would always say, like, you would say some stuff on the air that seemed real, right?
Right.
Conversation that seemed real, that I thought that you would get a lot of shit for when you went home. And that one of the things that Sal would do is, I say, how did you go home yesterday? And Sal would do a preemptive strike. He'd go home and he'd go, listen, Christine, we were talking about some stuff on the air today, all kidding around. Right. If anybody calls you, there was nothing to it. And I would say, you would explain it away, and you weren't honest with her.
You drop key words. So when somebody like, for example, I said I tossed off in McDonald's because I got horny from an intern doing a phony phone call. So I go, listen, you won't believe what happened today. I go, there was an intern. She did a phony phone call, and they were calling me a creep and stuff. So I joked around. I go, yeah, what am I going to do now? Go to McDonald's and jerk off? So I think, okay, I go, and so they were making fun of me. So now I'm thinking, if somebody calls, goes, did you hear Sal was jerking off McDonald's? My wife go, oh no, he explained it to me already.
Yeah, but do you think Christine's falling for that? She's not falling for that. Well, and think about what you said. You admitted to jerking off to another woman in McDonald's.
Well, you don't,
how is she going to take that?
What do you usually jerk off to, Artie? Sandwiches? I mean, you jerk off to other women.
I've jerked off to sandwiches.
Wait, can I tell you the best? Artie,
you've never seen my mother's sandwich.
Can I tell you the best part of this? You know who's
I'd like to see
you know who's one of the people who listens to the show all the time that will call Christine to tell her what happened?
Who?
Her mother.
Oh, that's the worst.
So, when her mother calls and says, your idiot husband was jerking off at McDonald's, how do you fight that?
Listen, there's a few tricks. I can't reveal them all. If
I
revealed them, I'd be dead.
The best trick is saying, every story I've told on this show, my mother thinks I've told her is bullshit, and I'm just making it up.
And that's one of the tricks. Somebody very, very big here who once saw me down and out after I said stuff on the air, pulled me aside and said, listen, just go home and just say it was all bullshit. And I said, yeah, but that sounds so easy, because it's not going to be easy, but it helps.
Cousin Brucey? Was it Cousin Brucey?
The other thing that came up that created a lot of controversy today was you allowing or not allowing Christine to talk to the emotional friend. It seems like there were divided camps on that.
Here's what happened with that. When I first went to the therapist said, you shouldn't cut her off. You should give her the opportunity to speak to him. I went home and I said, look, I love you and I trust you, and if you're going to do it, you're going to either do it behind my back or you're going to do it in front of me if you really love this guy. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to
do it in front of you. That's kinky. That would be crazy.
Well, the thing is, so I said, look, if you need to talk to him, then talk to him. I can't stop you. So I did do that. But I said to her, I gave you the opportunity to speak to him and to make him realize what had happened between us instead of you just cutting it off cold, because you're entitled to that. And I said, I would appreciate if you don't talk to him anymore. And she said, thank you. And she said, I won't talk to him anymore. But then she ended up talking to him. So I did give her that opportunity.
And when she ended up talking to him,
then I flipped out. Then I said, what the fuck? So it sounds like you still... Then I called 𝗵𝗵ci𝗄𝗿𝗱. Then I got I got an apartment in the city from...
oh, really? You went that far?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, there's a comedian in the city that said, look, if you ever need an apartment to stay in, because he listens to the show, she listens to the show. It's Laura Levitas. She's a great girl.
Laura Levitas. Yeah. Whoa. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
No.
That's a definite message to your wife.
No, not at all.
She's
Laura,
only the hottest chick comedian
I was going to say, Laura's more in the Sarah Silverman camp, not in the Sherry Shepherd camp.
A male.
You couldn't crash with Mike Bush.
No. Laura said to me, we've done shows at Caroline, so she said to me, you ever need a place? She listens to the show. She's a fan. I don't know any, she said it's here. She was on tour with
I know who Laura is.
She was on tour with Lampanelli. She says, I'm not going to be home for the next month and a half. You can have my place. She's on the road with Lampanelli.
Oh, so she wasn't in town.
She wasn't in town.
Yeah,
so,
but you know that.
But I had the place. I had a place to temporarily stay out. I called up 𝗵𝗵ci𝗄𝗿𝗱. I called my wife, who was at the beach with the kids and her other girlfriend, and wearing their Gucci sunglasses, enjoying the sun.
All right, that's all right, Sal.
Yeah.
No need to go there. That's fine.
And I said, I'm out of here. And she said, why? I said, because you're talking to him again. So then she said, but it was for work-related bullshit. And then she promised me she would stop. So that's it. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to dangle a carrot in front of a fucking?
Well, you should bang Laura Levitas.
Well, today during the interview,
Laura's a great girl.
During the interview, Christine basically said, "Yeah, I'd like to be able to talk to this guy if I want to, if only as a friend."
Right.
But for you, I could tell that's a deal breaker.
It's not going to happen. I can't live with that. There's no way I can live with
You know what? I agree. I mean, I'm on your side on that one. Call me immature, call me whatever, Artie, and I think you agree as well. Like, that would drive you up the frickin' wall, would it not?
Well, especially with the history you have now with it, the trouble you cause. See, Howard says it's fine, but Howard's telling you to break up with her.
Let me ask you this,
what
Artie.
he's saying.
Dana, love of your life.
Yeah.
Let's say you're on stage in Vegas with Dana.
Right.
No, there was a place.
With Dana? With her?
You're at a show. Listen to me. You're at a show.
Yeah.
Carnegie Hall.
Can't wait for this analogy.
No, I'm going to ask you something.
Go
Carnegie
ahead.
Hall.
All right.
Take Dana because you're so proud of her, you love her. You're on stage performing.
Mm-hmm.
While you're on stage for an hour and 45 minutes, she's on the phone with somebody else.
Right.
And you get those records.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, well, it's a good friend of mine. And you find out that she spoke to that guy 30 times a day. She did this while you're on stage.
Right.
Would you allow her to continue to talk to this guy and continue to keep a healthy relationship? Do you think that sounds logical?
I'd make a phone call and have the guy killed.
Right. And I know you're joking, but there's some truth to that.
Listen.
So that's a
that
position
would be hurtful, yeah, but I don't think it's the same thing.
I'm at Disney World fishing with my kids.
Yeah, but that's different.
She's on, no. The history there, 30 times a day on the weekends.
You can't
forget it.
Dude, here's the deal.
I can't stop her.
No, you can't allow or permit it. You could say, look, I wish she didn't have to make that call. You know what I mean? But if she's making that call, that's telling you something about your relationship.
Say you're on stage at your version of Carnegie Hall, like, I don't know, Mike's Bowling Alley.
Carnegie Deli.
Whatever bowling alley Levy's playing. And, and she's talking through a show. That's a different story. Because it's special that she's watching you work. It's not the same thing, though. It's not you being on vacation with your kids. She's got some free time, and I don't think so. So because the kids are involved.
I just took 5 fucking shots in my ass with a paintball gun to take my kids to Disney, and as I'm fishing my son, she's talking to this guy, and you're saying,
agree with Sal.
that's the biggest kick in the fucking
face. What do you want her to be doing?
That was the most hurtful thing I heard.
I'm asking you, would you allow that woman to continue to talk to this person if you wanted to save your fucking marriage?
Not if it hurt me that much. I think here's the thing, Sal.
Let's be realistic.
The guy's good looking, ain't he?
I never saw the guy.
I know, but I'm saying you're copping out here. Like if the guy looked like me, or say one of the guys that might be the emotional friend, you wouldn't. You're threatened by this guy. Be honest.
I'm not threatened at all.
No. If the guy looked like someone who you didn't feel threatened by physically.
You know what I'm threatened by? I'm threatened by exactly what it is. The emotions. The fact that she lended her heart to somebody else. She told him she loved him, and that's all I need to know.
No,
whether he's ugly or whether he's Brad Pitt or Scott the Engineer, she loves somebody else. What he looks like does not intimidate me. Not one bit.
If you knew for sure she was never going to fuck him, it would still matter?
What's that?
If you knew for sure she was never going to fuck him, if you knew absolutely 100% positively, this is a friendship, this makes her life enhanced, but she'll never fuck him, would you be okay with it?
Based on her track record with him, absolutely not. You can't. Like I said, if you look at what has happened in the past, the relationship they had, I couldn't take that chance.
Benji, 143. I don't think he's ever going to be comfortable with
30
that.
calls in a day. 30.
No, but I'm saying if he knew.
Say like Benji's the emotional.
It doesn't matter because she thinks enough of him to call her 30 times.
I'm trying to think of someone hideous.
Uglier than you.
Artie, you asked the question. It doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what the person looked like because she thought enough of him to speak with him 30 times a day. So whatever he looks like, she sees something there. She's getting something from him emotionally.
But you see, here, okay, say it was a... I'm not making my point. Say it was a midget. You know what I mean? I'm saying it's not all about the emotion. It's about the chance that it could be physical. That's what I'm talking about. If her emotional friend was the guy Johnny Stepanino with the midget with
But why would she... But unless she felt a bigger attachment, why would she talk to somebody that much in a day? I'd say 143 of them. No matter what they look like physically, clearly there's something going on there that's drawing her to that person, and that's enough to be upsetting to him.
Right. So let me ask you guys, based on if you were in my shoes, would you allow Gary, your wife, to talk to this guy?
No.
Would you, John?
No.
Would you,
I would allow Gary's wife to talk to her.
Would you, Benji?
If I knew it wasn't sexual, yeah. I mean, I love when I date a girl for her to have friends. I mean, I think that's nice.
She has plenty of friends, dude. She has plenty of friends. I'm asking you, based on if you were in my shoes with those records.
Well, based on what happened today, I do agree. You forbidding it makes it like this forbidden fruit.
But I never.
You have essentially.
No, but I said to her, "Do what you have to do," and then she said, "I'm not."
No. You said do a final conversation.
But I said, if you want to continue as well, you can. And I left it in her. I left the ball in her court, and then she was privately talking to him.
But Sal, she said she has other guy friends.
Yeah,
she said that. So
we
how
have
come
mutual guy friends.
How come you don't have a problem with them?
Because she doesn't call him 30 times a day and hide her phone from me when she does it.
And he knows. In other words, those friends have not been hidden from him. There's a reason she was hiding this friend.
Because he's got a great ass and abs.
All right, we're going to take a break.
And huge balls.
When we come back, we'll get to your calls on this, plus a little bit of Sarah Silverman, the new gift policy, everything went down on today's show. You're listening to the Wrap-Up Show, which you can catch only on Howard 100 and Howard 101. We'll be right back.
All your important files are on your office computer. To work from home or while traveling, you have to copy files to CD, email files to yourself, or sync up your laptop. What a hassle.
Well, Gary, here's the solution. Take your office with you wherever you go with Go to My PC. Yes, Go to My PC. With that, you can access your office computer from any other computer as long as it has an internet connection.
Here's how it works. From any computer, log on to GoToMyPC.com with a secure username and password. You instantly see your office computer desktop on your computer screen with all your files and programs right there. Go to My PC. It's so easy to set up and use. So wait a second, John. They're saying if I go and hook up to this thing, I can see my desktop of my computer somewhere else. Like if I'm at home, I can see my desktop of my office computer?
Right. As long as you could be anywhere. As long as there's an internet connection. If you use Go to My PC, you can see your office computer.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. You can try it for free for 30 days. Just go to GoToMyPC.com and click the Try It Free button and use the promo code 100. Now, you can take the office with you with Go to My PC. Remember, use the promo code 100 for your free Go to My PC trial.
Is this Carson's ribs?
No, it's not.
The Wrap-Up Show.
The Wrap-Up Show.
A recap and behind-the-scenes look at The Stern Show. The Wrap-Up Show.
888-STERN-100.
Got a comment about The Stern Show? Call in.
The Wrap-Up Show.
With John Hein and Gary Dell'Abate.
Welcome back to the Wrap-Up Show. John, Gary, Artie, Sal, Benji, Teddy. Your calls at 888-STERN-100, 888-783-7610. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Danny in Toronto. Danny, welcome to the Wrap-Up Show. Danny, you there?
Hello, Danny. All right.
Last chance, Danny. Okay, we'll go to Frank in New York. Hey, Frank, you're on the Wrap-Up Show.
How you doing, guys? Listen, I want to talk to Sal and ask him at the end of the segment when he kind of like blew up and told everybody in the audience that not to get married. Was that like a defense mechanism that he put up just because everybody was coming down on him and they told them like to let his wife talk to the emotional friend? Or was he really meaning?
I think it was a combination of everything. I was just taking everything in. I felt like we were going nowhere. And then I hear for her to talk to the emotional friend. I'm like, this is all fucking crazy. And the first...
the first thought that hit me was like, you know what? Marriage is a goddamn scam. It really is.
Sal,
and that's how I felt.
I'm sorry. Were you telling Howard not to get married? Were you telling everyone not to get married?
Listen, Howard's very intelligent. Howard makes up his own mind. If he wants to get married, get married. But I'm just saying, in general, there's a point in your life where you think you're so in love and you're so infatuated. Just take a step back, breathe a little bit, give it a few more years, and then see if you feel that way. Because
years?
Yeah,
chicks ain't waiting years, dude. I know what you're saying.
Well, that's it. Try to shake that pressure, you know,
but
because
that's what you
chicks
kept
ain't
saying. You kept
waiting
saying
years.
5 years. That's. I mean, what the fuck?
You know, we're the
10
only
years.
whatever.
It's
just weird, you know. I think if the Bible was never written, we wouldn't have all these ceremonies and everything else. And I believe in God, which is kind of contradictory.
Wait. What?
Welcome to What the Fuck Did Sal Just Say?
If the Bible wasn't
brought
written,
to you every day at noon.
If it wasn't written in the Bible that a man has to marry a woman and be committed and all that other horse shit that's in there, we wouldn't be in these situations today.
Did you get married because the Bible told you to? Or
No,
because
but I followed the tradition of the Bible like everybody, you know, every other Catholic who gets married.
You did?
What's the tradition of the Bible? You went to a ceremony and you got married, but other than that, you haven't followed anything.
But I'm saying if the Bible said fuck as many people as you want, like lions and tigers and elephants do, you know.
If the Bible said fuck a lion, if the Bible said fuck a lion, you'd fuck a lion?
No,
I don't know.
Gary.
No, sir, I'm totally serious.
We are the only.
No, he said like.
Listen to me.
He didn't say us fuck lions. Like
we're the only species we are animals, okay, but we're the only species that completely commits to one person. When a lion goes into heat, a female lion goes into heat, a male lion comes by, he fucks her, she has cubs, he moves on. That's it.
Right, but a lion has no
brain.
They're brainless animals.
Yeah, they don't have to.
No, they got more brains than us. Because that male lion is fucking other lions.
Yeah, but
while somebody's raising his cubs.
Sal, is it a comedy? Seriously, are you doing a comedy bit or are you having a conversation?
No, I'm not kidding you.
So you really believe this?
Based on the Bible, based on culture, we have this thing where we have to stay committed.
First of all, we have books. Lions can't read books. We're elevated beings.
We're not that elevated.
All right.
You're not. You're not.
You have a team that can't even fucking make it to the playoffs.
And you're horrible for Italians right now.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Learn how to pronounce Capacul correctly. Then we'll talk about who's doing a better job for the Italians.
I think Sal is in a defense mode like a rat in a corner.
I'm not in a corner. I'm saying
and you're
that.
upset about what happened today, and you should be, because your marriage is clearly over.
You're such a douchebag.
And all you have left is a career that is kind of, you know, in the waning years.
I hope I get Sal in the Secret Santa so I can get him a mattress for his new apartment.
I just love the fact that, Gary, you're explaining to Sal that lions can't read books.
And that's how pathetic marriage is. They're still smarter than us.
What does the Bible say? So you did, when you did pre-Cana, all that stuff?
I did pre-Cana.
And were you honest in the pre-Cana?
What's there to be honest about?
Well, when the priest said, have you ever masturbated, what did you say?
I don't think I was asked that question. I think they threw that question out because they probably got too many yeses. There's no way. Everybody masturbates.
Even the priests.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we can talk about? Anything?
You mean besides Sal and his wife?
He's not being...
No, I know. Let's move on to another subject.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, you're in... I feel bad for you. I do. I really do, Sal.
Listen to me.
Honestly, that shit you spewed out today, all kidding aside, that is heavy fucking shit. And every time you get deeper and deeper into your family stuff, you say stuff that I can't even believe. Like that stuff with your father and a second family. Dude, that is crazy stuff to deal with. And people tell me this all the time, but, you know, and I blow it off, but it's not right. You need therapy on your own to deal with that. Your father had a second family? Which, by the way, is a big Italian thing. That's like, they all got other shit going on, but...
Yeah, we know somebody, we have a good friend who had a second family, and he's got a black half-brother. He's Italian.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgraceful. But, Sal, he didn't have a black family.
No.
Oh,
listen to me.
Oh, thank God.
The point that I'm trying to make, before you guys accuse me of, like, going off into these stupid tangents.
Sal, Artie's telling you should go to therapy.
Yes, I am. I really think that you need... That is some heavy shit.
Well...
Right. It just is. You got to... I mean, I think you're living a lie.
The point that I'm trying to make is that we have basically, based on religion and based on our culture, we feel that that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's why so many marriages break up. I'm saying that out of all the animals, out of all the species in the world, we are the only ones that do this.
Define. You don't know what species is. Define.
What are you doing,
species.
Gary?
It's a boring rap. This is like a rap
truth.
That guys do it like a bad comedy club,
It's not. It's not because it's amazing
No, it's
how.
not. Tell the truth, Sal. Tell how you're feeling, man. Seriously.
Elephants fight over an elephant in heat. They fuck the elephant. She has baby elephants. He moves on. We're the only people that build a house. Put one person
We're
in
the
it.
only people that are people. Those are animals.
But it doesn't
Those are fucking
matter.
animals. An elephant is not a human.
But an elephant.
An elephant doesn't read books.
Does an elephant eat? So do humans. Does an elephant
Yeah,
shit?
they eat other elephant shit.
But the thing is, you would know, Fatso.
Oh, and how to go around to that? How dare you make this about my
But why
feelings?
are we the only animal that doesn't shit on the street?
Because we're evolved.
The point I'm trying to make is that it's kind of odd that because of our religion, because of our culture, we've decided to stay with one person.
Hey, but I think Sal really has a serious point. He's saying if it wasn't a cultural tradition, if you just had a blank slate, most guys probably wouldn't choose
So
this.
let me ask you a question.
Right.
Why did Sal get involved in the first place? If he does, now he looks back on it and he goes, "Oh, I shouldn't be involved in this cultural tradition." Why did you skip it? You're going to be living alone. It's fine.
Because like anything in life, you get older, you get wiser. It's learning from experience.
So what's happening to you? It sounds like you're using your religion or this to stay in your marriage.
No,
or blaming your marriage on your religion.
Right. You're like, you know what? I'd love to get out of this, but that's the way it is.
First of all, I don't want to
stay.
get out of what I have. But I'm saying that based on, it's just kind of odd that we have this thing where we just got to shackle up with somebody.
But you make it sound like you were tricked into it.
I kind of was. I think everybody who gets married
The only
is.
thing I'll say is I'm surprised it happens as often as it does, that you meet, you know what I mean? Like, the norm should be that you don't find somebody that you want to share a bathroom with for the rest of your fucking life, I mean, the fact that it happens so often is, I think it's definitely how we're bred in society. Like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, eventually you get married, and, but nowadays, people don't stay in shit marriages. It's a very different time.
More people get divorced than maintain their marriage.
So do it.
I don't want to. But I'm saying if that's the case, then more people should take a look at those statistics and take a step back and let their emotions breathe a little before they jump in. And
why more people? Why not you?
Because I'm already married, John. I'm married over 10 years. I said I've learned from my experience. I don't want to change things.
No, he's happy in his marriage, but he's warning others.
I'm not happy. I've had difficulties in my marriage, but I want to make my marriage work. But if I could warn others, I would say wait a little while.
So this is like a public service announcement.
Exactly.
I think
it's a warning.
I think you should sell your house to afford 3 more Dr. Abelo visits, and by then everything will be fine.
Hey, Ralph.
Hey, now. Hey, all right, let me go through some things real quick here. First of all, John,
yes.
Good loss last night with the Steelers, losing to Arizona.
Ralph, you watched the football game? I'm impressed.
What's even worse is I called it. That was my upset special.
All right, thank you, Ralph.
Sal, here's what you got to understand, what you're missing, Sal. Seriously, it was a great, and I thought you guys, if you could realize, listen back to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You could, first of all, you can't regulate what she's going to do. Don't you want her to love you because she loves you, not because you tell her to love you?
Yeah.
Right.
And,
so you can't say, don't talk to this guy. You want to do whatever happens to make her not want to talk to this guy for that level of closeness. And if she gets something out of him that you can't get, fuck it. Who cares? You're working all day. Let her talk to this guy, and he's not fucking her. You are. If that's what you're. You know what I mean?
Jesus, Ralph. That's bad advice.
I don't know, man.
No, that's good advice. And Artie, this is how it helps.
How many years you been married, Ralph?
Or wait a second. Let me finish here. Artie, seriously, this is how this kind of thing helps on this show.
Right.
First of all, it was a great transition. Dr. Keith Abelo to Sarah Silverman. You know what I mean? Like, how does anybody make that jump? And You know, it was great that Howard can just do that kind of thing.
No, Artie was saying it was great. He was questioning how did it help Sal.
Yeah, Ralph, we know you're a fan of
it,
Howard.
It helps everybody because you hear, and Artie, you don't hear it because you're fucked up too because whatever happened to you.
Look, I'm fucked up. I agree with you, man. I mean,
but you don't hear how her family is disconnected and fucked up, and she's repeating that behavior.
Yeah.
And Sal's dad is fucked up and horrible to women, and Sal's that way, and he's repeating that behavior. You don't get that?
Plus, have you seen Sal's father's hair?
No, don't be funny.
No, you know what the problem is, Sal? Ralph. The problem is that you're right. We recognize that. So that's
you don't
been
think that's helpful to just
hold on.
to Sal?
That's been identified, but now what are they going to do with it?
Well, you identify it, and then you move forward. I mean, this is one session on the radio with 20 million people. You know
20 million people? What stock are you looking at? If there were 20 million
I don't know.
people,
I'm looking at like $2.30.
If there were 20 million people listening, I'd be in fucking Peru.
Dig out.
No, but I agree with Ralph. I think there was something there.
But Garrett, if your sons were adults and they were married, it was a great segment. But if they were going through this kind of problem, would you say, hey, why don't you go on a show and talk about it?
Of course not.
Of
course
not.
Of course not. This is for entertainment.
No, hold on a second. Wait, Artie, we're making a distinction. Yes, they came on for entertainment, but does that mean that because it was for entertainment, nothing good could come of it?
I don't know. I mean, unless they agree to continue to do, clearly they need a ton of work.
Don't
individually and together, they need a ton of work.
But just because you can't like recognize because Dr. Keith was trying to help you off the radio and on the radio that maybe there's some good in it. There's some good in this for them.
No, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you know what I think, Sal. I think you
think that therapy is
wait,
bullshit.
Hold on, Ralph. Everybody is saying what they think. Do you think there was Sal? Do you think any good came out of today's session? And does Christine think anything good came out of today's session? And be honest. No lions or anything like that.
I think a little bit, yeah. I think the fact that we got turned on to Dr. Abelo, and the guy is really good at what he does. He's really good into tapping into your own personal issues, which will help everything as a whole. I think that's great. So I'm looking forward to meeting him personally with my wife. And my wife
was there
feels
a downside
the same
for you?
Yeah, and my wife feels the same way. That there is good.
Well, yeah. What's the downside?
The downside is the phone call she'll get today. You know,
from who?
Family, friends on her side, and that's gonna start pecking at her head, and then it's probably gonna get her upset, and then who knows?
Christine, he is. Oh.
No, but Sal, don't do that where you try. Don't do that where you try to figure out where she's going to go in her mind. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, that's again.
What you should get out of it is just treat her like you love her, and then
I do.
And then you can't blame her for any. You know, if she does, she'll do the right thing.
Gay it up.
Would you ever bring her flowers home today on the way home and just say, you know what? Today I know it was emotional, and it was one. What's that?
Yeah. No, you might be right, Gary.
Yeah, it's nice.
Today was an emotional day. I know you went through a lot. We both went through a lot. I just wanted to make you a little happy.
I would consider it, but
don't consider. Just do it.
I hate giving her flowers when when you guys have said in the past like. Somebody says an apology, it seems insincere.
But this isn't an apology. This is sincere.
Right.
Because you didn't do anything wrong. You're not giving it to her because you did something wrong.
Right.
You're giving her to her because you both went through something emotional today, and you'd like to make her feel better.
You need money for flowers?
No. Yeah, I would. And you know what? I've given her flowers before, just surprisingly without her expecting it. And like I said, I've left her notes and stuff like that. And when I came home from Cleveland, Chicago, I couldn't wait to see her. And she didn't.
She wants romance.
Sal, what do you want her? What do you want her to do for you?
Without being crude.
I just like her to be more affectionate and appreciate what I do for her because I appreciate what she does.
But how
for me.
so? Like how would you want her to show it?
Just simple things like when I get home from a long weekend, get up off the chair,
shave your back,
a hug. I don't have any hair on my back.
Were you really upset, though, when she didn't get up from the computer? Is that a real thing? Like, were you really hurt by that when you got home from the weekend? Really?
Yeah.
I think, and you communicated that to her? You told her that?
You know what? Here's the crazy thing, like I said on the air. 5, 6 years ago, I probably wouldn't have given a shit. But because she's so important to me now in my life, because I felt like what has happened to us, that to me would have made the world of a difference.
I think that was a nice story, that he still, after work and you've been married forever, you still want to see your wife when you get back. And
that's what it's come down to. So that's what I hope that she gets out of it. That, but you can't make somebody hug you if they're not truly in love with you or they have a lot of issues.
You don't want to make somebody hug you.
I don't. So I just said, hey, you couldn't even get up? I mean, how else can I express myself? She couldn't even get up, so that's the way it goes.
All right, we got to wrap up. Artie, anything you want to plug?
I'll be, where am I going to be for Hampton Beach. Hampton Beach Casino Friday, and November 15th, Caesar's Palace in Vegas, and November 17th, Poughkeepsie. I'll be all over the fucking
I'll
place.
be Saturday in Memphis and Friday in Louisville, Kentucky, killersofcomedy.com.
Thanks for listening to the wrap-up show on 100 and 101.
Now it's Howard 100 News at noon.
Around the world, then up your block.
It's time for America to wake up!
No more bullshit.
This is it. It's a revolution.
This is a Howard 100 News Brief.
I'm Ralph Howard. Therapy on the radio. Dramatic and insightful, but did it work? It's Howard 100 News Behind the Scenes.
Howard 100 News, behind the scenes.
I think it went remarkably well. Look, I'm optimistic.
Dr. Keith Abloh commenting on his hour-and-a-half-long live on-air marriage counseling segment with Sal the stockbroker and his wife Christine. Dr. Keith felt the two were on emotional lockdown, not sharing their true feelings. How'd the session go for Christine?
I think it went well. I definitely think he, hit on a lot of points that were true. Made me stop and think.
Was it hard hearing Artie as the emotional friend?
Oh, that was so funny.
Artie, Christine thought you were funny.
Oh, my God. It's great to see Christine laughing. It really is. I think these two are going to be fine.
So you feel good about everything?
Yeah, I've always felt good about everything, and I'm glad my wife would be willing to do this, because this ain't easy, so that's where I really appreciate her. She's doing it because she knows how important it is to me.
What do you think of Dr. Keith?
I thought he was great. I certainly look forward to seeing him again.
It was interesting that he thought both of you were on lockdown.
Yeah, that's something that we really never addressed, her personal feelings, my personal feelings, and how they clash.
You cried.
Yeah. It's all in a day's work.
So, how does this story end?
More to come. Yeah. So we'll do dinner. We'll do dinner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
For Howard 100 News, I'm Lisa G.
Clever and hilarious. The Red Peters Comedy Music Hour tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and Howard 101.
Howard 100 News. Always there. Never invited.
Once again, the killers of comedy from The Stern Show were on the trail, searching for laughs, and they had a special guest. It's Howard 100 News Backstage.
Howard 100 News Backstage.
This weekend, the killers of comedy were back on the road. We hit Chicago and Cleveland, and the Iron Sheik joined us on the tour, which was awesome. But there is no show without the headliner, the main man, the man who they all came to see.
Get lucky with any ladies?
Oh, a couple of them I met. Yeah.
Really? And where were you this weekend?
I don't remember that.
I think you were in Tokyo, right?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
Beat works extremely hard, and it shows on the poor guy.
So, another successful weekend for you?
I'm so fucking tired, I can't even fucking move my body anymore.
Also, Beat almost got into a fight this weekend with someone from the show. In this clip, we don't find out why he was mad, but what is in this clip is a new version of the classic bit, Who's on First. Enjoy.
What about Sal? Sal pissed you off this weekend, huh?
Oh, I was gonna fucking kill his ass, yo.
Yeah, what was his
I was
problem?
gonna beat the shit out of his ass, yo.
What was his problem?
I said, what's your fucking problem? Don't come to me with that bullshit.
Right.
Get the fuck away from me.
Right. And what did he say?
Got away from me fucking quick.
And what'd you say?
He ran behind the other fucking guy, though.
And what'd you say to him?
I was gonna beat his ass.
And what'd he say?
Fucking walked away.
And then what did you say when he was walking away?
After he walked away, I was going to beat the shit out of that, but he walked away behind the other guy.
And then what did he say?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess he was fucking afraid of me, I guess.
Who wouldn't be afraid of you? Look at you. You're a scary dude.
He's afraid of me.
For Howard 100 News, she'll be saying, Shalom, biatch! It's on to the baseball playoffs and Monday Night Football. A big sports night for Scott Farrell, live from 8 until midnight Eastern on Howard 101.
Howard 100 News. What else are you going to listen to?
Artie Lange says thanks for a video, even though the video makes fun of Artie. And the thank you included a check.
And how fucking dare anyone out there make fun of Artie after all he's been through?
In just one short video clip,
He's a fucking human!
the clever creator of this precious primal scream
Leave Artie alone!
manages to make a mockery of Britney Spears, the strange character who mounted the internet defense of the once proud Pop-Tart in the first place, and of course, Artie Lange himself.
Dana turned out to be a user and barely tanked.
The biggest fan of this spoof, Artie Lange.
Oh, I was real excited.
Matt Crouch, who starred in and produced this Leave Artie Alone stunt, has just received a handwritten thank you letter from Artie Lange.
Along with the letter, he enclosed a check for the use of the video during the Detroit show.
Matt won't say how much money Artie sent him, but the letter reads in part, quote, "That was some funny shit. I'd like to speak with you." Signed, Artie Lange.
Yeah, I believe he wants to talk about doing some web stuff, some website stuff. So I've been doing it for a long time now, and it'd be great to work with him.
Crouch is also the creator of the ever-so-sly SaveBabyGorilla.com website, dedicated to the preservation of Artie Lange in the wild. Crouch even donating money to the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund in Artie's name.
I'm a little surprised that he wanted to use me, especially since my site, even though it's there out of love, we do get a little raw on him and make fun of him a little bit. But, it's totally out of being a fan.
He hasn't done heroin in years. And all you people want him to do is more.
He's right. The world needs more Artie Lange. For Howard 100 News, I'm Steve.
Coming up this afternoon, Bubba the Love Sponge from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Howard 101 and Bubba Live on Friday morning.
Everybody. Listen to
Howard 100 News.
Now, today's poll question from Howard 100 News. Sal and Christine sat down for therapy with Dr. Abloh this morning on the air. What was the best part? Your choices are A, Sal crying, B, Christine's emotional friend joining in, C, Christine not admitting to masturbation, or D, Sal constantly putting his foot in his mouth. To vote, go to the Howard Stern page at Sirius.com. If you spot Robin on a date with Jim Florentine, call us at 877-33-SIRIUS. Then dial 100 for the Howard 100 News tip line. Another Howard 100 News brief at the top of the hour, or as close as we can get.
Howard 100.
You didn't write Ohio.
No,
Neil Young did.
Neil did.
But you love that song.
Well, I get a call from Crosby. I'm in Los Angeles. Neil and David are up in a place that I had in Pescadero in Northern California. It was a friend's house. Crosby called me. He goes, book the studio right now. Get the band together. Get Halverson, who's our engineer, Bill Halverson. I'm coming down tomorrow. I said, boy, you sound intense. What the hell's going on?
What's going on?
He said, wait until you hear this song. I said, what is it? He said, it's called Ohio, and Neil wrote it. I said, what happened? He said, I showed Neil a newspaper with you remember that famous John Philo picture of the girl leaning over the dead body?
You're talking about at Kent State.
At Kent State.
One of the students had been shot by a National Guardsman.
4 of them.
Yes.
We slaughtered our own children.
Yes.
Right, so here's the story. So he shows Neil this newspaper or this magazine, whatever it was. He said, I saw Neil walk off with his guitar into the woods, and he comes back an hour later with this song, right?
Wow.
We had Teach Your Children going, it was already in the top 20. It was going towards the top of the charts.
Right.
We put out Ohio immediately and killed our own single because we thought it was more important to talk about America killing its own children than having a hit record.
You're telling me that Neil Young goes off into the woods An hour later, comes out with a fully formed song.
Completely done, finished.
And Crosby thought the song was so important and so good. He said, "Come on, guys, let's get together, record this
immediately."
Even at
and put it out immediately.
Put it out immediately.
Ahmet Ertegun was in the studio. So we cut Ohio. It took us about an hour and a half.
The whole song was cut in an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. It's a very simple song.
No one does that anymore.
Well, you know.
Would you grace us with a little bit of Ohio?
No.
Gotta get down to it. Soldiers are cutting us down. Should have been done long ago. What if you knew her and found her dead on the ground? How can you run when you know, you know, you know? Soldiers and Nixon coming, we're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming for dead in Ohio, for dead in Ohio, for dead in Ohio, for dead in Ohio.
That is one powerful song.
Here now, so you want to...
Graham Nash?
Yeah,
I'll do the notes with you. We'll get started. What was the, when the Crosby, Stills, and Nash got together, he was in the Hollies.
Yes.
But he was, okay, I'll start that from King Midas' story.
He was sort of disillusioned with what the direction they were taking.
Right, and then he hooked up with Crosby, and where did they find Stills?
No, Crosby and Stills were at Joni Mitchell's house, and she
That's where they met.
She invited Graham to come over. I think the way I read it was she sort of knew these three guys should get together, but it seemed like an accident. And in the book he says they go over, Crosby and Stills have a new song, they play it once, Graham goes, play it again, and Graham goes, can you do it one more time? And this time he jumps in with them and they create this sound.
Well, Graham Nash is here, which I'm excited about. One of my favorite artists of all time, Graham Nash. Of course, of the great band Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Originally of the Hollies, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for about 20 different reasons. Look at you.
Twice.
You look good. Yeah, you really do. You take care of yourself, right?
No, you know, it's really easy to look like a peacock when you're standing next to two turkeys.
Well, yes, but, you know, it's funny. When I even see Neil Young now, he's put on a tremendous amount of weight.
Really?
I think so.
I saw Neil a week ago. He didn't look...
he looked heavy to me.
Well, you know, as we get older, I mean, look at you. You look great, too. I mean...
No, I'm trying to keep the weight down. You keep the weight down.
How old are you now, 40?
40?
Oh.
Yeah.
You're so
40.
flattering.
And what are you, like 43, I read?
Yeah, just over. 43 and a half.
Does it kill you getting older, honestly? Do you, I mean, it literally does kill you, but...
It's not for the faint-hearted, Howard, as you well know.
No.
You know, when you wake up with aches and pains, things drop off and things grow that you never even knew.
When you were writing your book, all right, because Graham has put out a new book, Graham Nash, and we're going to talk about it today, but... When you were writing your book and you go back and you sort of look at your archives and you look at all the pictures of you guys when you were young, isn't it? It's like looking at a different person, right?
And it's terrifying. That's the one thing about celebrity that I'm not crazy about, is seeing myself from a young kid to grow into this, gray-haired man here.
Because, I'm always shocked when I look at the old Crosby, Stills, and Nash pictures, and I see, David Crosby was this shockingly good-looking guy. I mean, he's gotten out of shape. Age has not been kind. But the voice is still there, right?
Crosby's singing his ass off, kid.
He's lucky he can.
That's right.
He's a survivor.
That's right. Well, I think the average lifespan for a liver transplant is like 15 years.
Right.
He's already
and
18
how many years is
18 and going.
Wow, that's remarkable. I'm thinking about the Crosby, Stills, and Nash and your new book, because you write about the history, and I always love that. And I love talking music with musicians and how you wrote certain songs.
Right.
So I'm excited that you're here today, especially with your guitar. And, I was thinking all the way back to, like, the Hollies. When you were in there, and you started to write music, and you started to get experimental with your music, that's why you left the Hollies. They were being mean to you.
No, they weren't really being mean. They were just content. They were content to have every single go into the top 10.
When you wrote this song, the Hollies were like, that's too experimental.
King Midas in reverse.
King Midas in reverse. You wrote this, you brought it to the Hollies, and you said, let's do this. And they said, dude, we just want to write hits. What is this?
Yes.
Was that the last straw for you? Were you like, that's it, I'm done?
Yeah.
You knew
well, a couple of things happened. That, they didn't want to do that. I'd actually written Marrakesh Express, and somewhere in the bowels of EMI, Abbey Road, there's a track of the Hollies doing Marrakesh, and it sucked. Right?
Wow.
So those two things, they wanted to do an album of Bob Dylan songs in Las Vegas, kind of brass, kind of, it sucked.
So you're saying you brought them Marrakesh Express, and they
didn't think it was going to be a hit.
Oh, my God. One of the biggest hits for Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Correct.
And you just, did that stick in your craw? And one day when you finally were set up with Crosby, Stills, and Nash, you brought it to them and you said, look, guys, let's do this. And they were probably like, yeah, this is it. Let's do it.
That's why I'm so bonded to Crosby, because he saved my ass. Because when you refuse to record what we consider to be decent songs, it shakes you to your core as a musician, as an artist. You think, I must be wrong. If they're not doing it, I must be. But then Crosby said, come over here.
I can't imagine how many people's spirits were crushed by someone saying no. I feel like that about my early career in radio. So many people say no, and I'm amazed that I just kind of knew to keep going. And you leaving the Hollies is not a very secure kind of thing. That was a big deal.
It was a big deal, except for one thing, Howard.
Yeah.
I had heard me and David and Stephen sing.
Was that at Joni Mitchell's house?
It was indeed, in her living room, yes.
All right, so you guys got together. You were in the Hollies. Crosby was in, what band was he in at that point?
I think he'd just been thrown out of the Byrds.